everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this, because today our goal is to completely reframe how you look at that quiet, furry little animal probably sleeping on your sofa right now. I mean, we look at them literally every single day, but we rarely see them for what they actually are. We're going to decode the incredible, completely unchanging, ancient biological software running inside the domestic cat. So get ready, because by the end of this, you are going to look at your pet in a totally different light.
To really get this, I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that you're thrust into this immersive, second-person point of view. It's day one. You are born the absolutely most capable predator in the building. But, well, here's the paradox, right? You're also completely blind, totally deaf, and roughly the size of a teacup. And these two undeniable facts are going to define the next 15 years of your life. Act 1. The predator is born. So, in this very first stage of life, there's this sheer, unbelievable helplessness, but it stands in stark contrast to the incredible built-in biological weaponry that's already humming right beneath the surface. Your eyes are sealed shut, your ears are sealed shut, the entire world is literally nothing but warmth, smell, and the sound of your mother's heartbeat. But you're far from defenseless. 40 million. That is the staggering number of scent receptors you have on day one. Your nose is already running at full capacity, which, by the way, is way more than a human will ever have. You're reading the air before you have any other way to interact with the world at all. You know your mom by smell, you know each sibling by smell. You can track the warmth gradient across the nest down to a single centimeter. You might be completely helpless, but you are already the most sophisticated chemical detection system in the entire building. And it's honestly mind-blowing how fast this development happens. By week 2, your eyes open up, and the world just arrives all at once. Shapes, light, your mother's face. 4 days after that, your ears unseal, and boom, the sound of the room rushes in. You fall over, your little legs don't even work properly yet, but your paws? They're already kneading, gripping, reaching. The hunting actually starts in the paws before it starts anywhere else. It just goes to show how completely pre-programmed the cat is for survival, because by week 4, the program executes. Picture this. You're 4 weeks old, a tiny piece of fluff moves across the floor. You don't consciously decide to do anything. Actually, your entire body decides before you do. Every system fires simultaneously. Step 1, your pupils blow to full black. Step 2, your ears lock onto the target. Step 3, your weight shifts perfectly to your back legs. The whole world narrows down to that one piece of fluff. You sprint. You catch it. Your jaw executes the perfect, instinctual kill bite. That very specific bite that slides between the vertebrae to end things fast. And the crazy thing, you've never been taught this. Your mother didn't sit you down and show you how. Your body just knew it before you even had a body to know it with. In under a second, you kill the fluff, and your tail gives this slow, satisfied flick. The software is fully installed, and everything works perfectly. Act 2, instinct meets the flat. Month 2 rolls around, and suddenly, some human comes along and takes you home. You are a perfectly tuned hunting machine, born with the smell of open ground and gardens in your DNA, and suddenly you're relocated into a modern, sterile human environment. You map out your new territory in 20 minutes flat. Every corner, every surface. But there's a huge catch here. Think about the ancestral bargain. 10,000 years ago, a wild cat walked toward a human settlement and made this cold, hard calculation: warmth, food, and shelter. Nobody sent an invite. The cat decided this for you. But then, compare that wild history to the claustrophobic reality of today. A 60 square meter flat. You sit at the window, and there's a pigeon sitting on the ledge barely 2 meters away. Your jaw starts chattering, literally practicing that precise kill bite on the air itself. But the pigeon doesn't even know you exist because it's behind a pane of glass. So this is your territory now. One window and prey you can never, ever reach. Which brings us to Act 3, the 3 a.m. hunt. So the absolutely crucial question here is, what happens to all this trapped, millions of years old instinct when the house goes completely quiet? Somewhere around month 3, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. The house is dead silent. But wait, you hear something. Inside the wall, just 9 centimeters behind the plaster, something is scuttling around. You hear tiny claws on a pipe. Your internal clock, which is the exact same one your wild ancestors ran on for millions of years, knows that 3 a.m. is when prey is at its absolute slowest and your eyes see best. Every single chemical in your tiny body says, go, and you just explode, full speed from the bedroom, down the hall, bounce off the wall, launch over the sofa, and tear back into the bedroom.
Your heart rate triples, your pupils are wide open, you are moving fast, sweeping every corner, covering ground, and then a sudden, hard pause. After 4 frantic minutes, you just stop. You sit right in the middle of the hallway, breathing heavily. You lick a paw once, and you go to sleep. Because there was nothing to catch. There is never anything to catch. Meanwhile, the human is standing half asleep in the doorway, filming the whole thing on their phone. They post it online, millions of people watch it, and we all lovingly call it the Zoomies. People in the comments are like, oh my gosh, my cat has completely lost its mind. But we really need to reframe this. The cat hasn't lost its mind at all. It is doing exactly what its brain was built to do. It's a pure biological reflex. The hunt signal fired into a completely empty flat, and the body had absolutely no other way to finish the sequence except to physically run it off. The ancient mind just didn't come with the concept of a drywall. Act 4. The language of love. Let's transition over to the good years, because this ancient design doesn't just hunt, it also deeply wants to interact with its human family. And this brings us to a really profound emotional climax. It's October, you aren't actually hungry, but your human is part of your territory, and your territory is your family, and family needs to eat, right? So you head out into the back garden. You spend 40 painstaking minutes on a real, intense stalk, your first proper hunt since that piece of fluff way back in week 4. And the kill is clean. You proudly place the bird right on the doormat, arranged perfectly. She comes home, stops in the doorway, and you just watch her face. This is it. This is the moment the provider sees your effort, but she makes a strange sound of disgust. She doesn't pick up the bird, she literally backs away. And then she scoops up your gift in a plastic garbage bag and tosses it straight into the bin. And you just sit there on the doormat, staring at where the bag went, having absolutely no idea what just happened. Take a second to really let this sink in. This is love in the only language you were built to speak. You gave her the absolute best thing you knew how to give, the fullest, most sincere expression of care that your biological design even contains, and she threw it in the trash. It's this incredibly tragic disconnect between human perception and feline affection. But, later when she comes over and strokes you on the head, you allow it. Because you always allow it. Act 5. An unchanging ancient design. Now, let's fast forward a bit. You're 11 years old now. Time has definitely aged your physical body, but as we're going to see, the internal software remains perfectly, beautifully intact. At 11 years old, you still insist on going out before dawn. Your joints definitely feel the cold now, especially that left hip on those wet mornings, but you go anyway, because the garden at 5 a.m. is just packed with information. A bird lands in the grass. You stalk it for 4 long minutes. The weight shifts, the pupils go wide, the jaw begins its familiar movement. Your body doesn't even know it's 11 years old. It's the exact same body that killed that fluff in week 4. Completely unchanged. You pounce. But you miss. Not by a lot, but you just aren't quite as fast as the bird anymore. You sit there in the wet grass. And then your human comes to the back door and calls your name. You know that exact specific frequency of her voice. She picks you up, presses her face into your head, and the warmth seeps through her coat. Your purring starts up before you even consciously decide to do it. The ancient hunt might not have worked this morning, but the comfort of the human never ever changes. And this brings us to the massive, almost unimaginable scale of what we are talking about here. 600 million. That is the number of domestic cats living on Earth right now. Every single one of them started blind in the dark. Every single one had their prey drive fire in week 4 on a stray shadow or a passing fly. And right now, hundreds of millions of these perfectly tuned predators are running this exact same software inside human flats. Somewhere, right this very second, a cat is sprinting through an empty hallway at 3 a.m. with nowhere to go. The design was built for a completely different world, but it runs in ours anyway. So I want to leave you with this question just to provoke a little bit of thought. If you have a cat, I want you to go look at it right after this. I mean, really look at it, because that quiet little thing sleeping on your sofa killed its first prey in week 4 and has basically been trying to kill things to provide for you ever since. It might just be the most intensely loyal thing any animal has ever done. Think about every weird behavior you've witnessed over the years and ask yourself, what has your cat actually been doing all this time? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this completely changes how you see that tiny predator lounging in your living room. Keep learning, and I will catch you next time.